I got an email from my friend John's wife today that said my good friend John Braun passed away this morning. John and I met each other when I was just starting my counseling career. We both volunteered at the Chimo Crisis Center. John was already in his mid-60s, I guess mid to late 60s. He didn't really know that much. He didn't really know that much about psychology. He didn't really know how to console people. But he was always sincere. He was always supportive, even though he used to get frustrated when he didn't know how to help people. But he helped the crisis center out in another way. He was a very handy person with fixing things. So he would run errands, deliver mails, and fix copy machines and photocopy machines and fax machines, run paperwork. He would serve in whatever capacity he could. I remember our friendship first started when one day at the end of my shift he offered me a ride home because it used to take me 2 or 3 hours on the bus to get home. The friendship was not all that long before things all went to hell for John. I think our friendship was pretty regular for maybe 4 years before things fell apart for him. But it was a stormy, very stormy kind of camaraderie kind of relationship. John had quite a temper, and as some of you would have known, so do I. I don't think we ever meant to really hurt each other's feelings, but it just we both had a very sharp sense of humor, very edgy kind of sense of humor. But we always got back into being good friends, and I'm just going to quote one of John's favorite saying. Our friendship, it wasn't bad at all. It wasn't. It really wasn't bad at all. Unfortunately, John was an alcoholic. Liz and I didn't really catch on to that fact until later. He hid it really, really well. When he was still working for the crisis line, he was still driving. Sometimes he would drink to the point that he would have little accidents at home. But none of us really caught on. We just thought, it's part of getting old. People get old and they fall down a lot. And not until later that he lost his job and he lost his driver's license. And that was a big shock to him. And he started drinking more and more. And things just went from bad to really bad and then to worse. He got hospitalized after a really bad accident at home and then got put into the old folks' care. And then his mental state started deteriorating more and more, and it just became so painful for Liz and I to go see him, because most of the time it's like he didn't even know who we were anymore. This is really hard. The piano keyboard, that has been with me for all these years, that been with me through concerts, that I've written so many songs on. That used to be John's keyboard. Uh, when he went to the old folks' home, he wanted me to have the keyboard.
Have you seen the old man in the closed down market, kicking out the paper with worn out shoes?
I remember he always loved my music. He wouldn't tell me that. He would he would always insult me. But in a way, that was his way of letting me know he enjoyed my music, because he would always ask me to play. And he wanted me to have the piano keyboard. At one point, he asked me if I could ever teach him how to play, but that never really happened.
The streets of London, I'll show you something that will make you change your mind.
I've learned a lot from John. More in the sense of how to get along with someone older. What to expect, what not to expect, how to love friends like that unconditionally. As some of you know, a lot of my friends are actually older people. I have friends in their 70s and 80s. And if not for John, I don't think I can get along with older people that well now. John was like, in many ways, the grandfather that I didn't have. My grandfather on my dad's side passed away before I was born, and my grandfather on my mother's side I never really did get to know. And so that reminded me of John and I, whenever we went out to pubs or bars, he would get asked, "Oh, are you father and son?" And we had like a standard inside joke, like we had an answer we always gave together. He would say, "Oh my God, would I have a son that ugly?" And I would say, "Oh my God, as if I would have a father that ugly." And we would have a good laugh over that, and then people would keep guessing if we were grandfather and grandson and stuff like that. And so yeah, in many ways he was like a grandfather that I didn't have.
Take you by the hand, I'll lead you through the streets of
I hope,
London. I'll
well,
show you something.
I hope wherever he is now, he's in a much better place. As I said, his last 4 or 5 years was not happy. He wasn't a happy passenger here on Earth. So, in some way, I guess he's wherever he is at now. I hope he'll be happier. He'll be healthy.
The winter city, the rain cries a little pity. Forgotten hero, and the world that doesn't care. So how can you tell me you're lonely and say for you the sun don't shine? Let me sit you by the hand.
This used to be one of his favorite liqueur. So, this is to you, mate.